Hi, I'm poet and writer Kay Spivey. Do you ever get kind of nostalgic for back in the day when YouTube was all about the 100 layers challenges? I'm clearly a Simply Nailogical fan. Can you see? I got the hollow taco. And so I loved her 100 layers video, her polished mountain video. Man, back in the day, YouTube was like all about all of that stuff. Remember? Like everyone was putting 100 layers of everything on everything. Those were good times. And I don't know why I was thinking about it. I was just thinking about it. I was like, you know what though? The writing community like did not get their time with that whole event. Like we got completely left out of the 100 layers challenges. So I was thinking, what we need is a challenge of our own. And I don't know if this is going to be all that challenging. Well, actually, let's just look. Well, okay, wait, I'll explain the challenge and then we'll take a look and see just how challenging this is actually going to be. I was thinking it might be really fun to turn this into like a free write. So instead of like 100 layers, let's do an 100 lines challenge. I'm planning to do this for poetry, but you could do it for a short story. 100 lines, you're just writing more words than a poet would. Like, do what you want to do with this. The challenge is just gonna be 100 lines challenge. So we get to get roped into this trend that has years fallen by the wayside that I just want to get back into all of a sudden for no good reason. So the Sestina that I wrote for my Patreon exclusive learning how to write poetic forms video, the Sestina that I wrote for that was 47 lines. And does this count? I think this counts breaks too. So 47 lines, but there are breaks in between. It barely goes on to the second page. Let me see, this is the longest poem I've written. Longest poem I've written is like 5 pages, and it is, 210 lines. Okay, so it's probably gonna be somewhere around 3. Yeah, it's gonna be about 2 to 3 pages is 100 lines, because this poem is like a full page and a half, and it's 69 lines, so we're getting close. So I think as you cross over into 3, it's about 100 lines is what it's looking like. That's not that long for people who are writing like epic poetry. It's kind of long for a poem. It's pretty short for a short story, but I thought this might be just a fun way to get us all involved in this. Do what you want with your 100 lines. The only requirement is that you write 100 lines. No breaks in between though. It has to be like solid lines. And no, I won't even say like more than one word outline. You do you. You do the challenge however you feel like doing it. This is completely up to interpretation. I just want to do 100 lines challenge today. So I'm gonna do it. Now I think the only thing though, okay, we have to have some guidelines because it is a challenge, right? Okay, so it has to be about like one thing. So it has to be one poem and you're just gonna free write it. This isn't like an editing situation. You just got free write 100 lines about like a single thing, like if you're doing a short story, one poem, and it has to reach the whole 100 lines. I guess you could go over, that's not really the point though, like I want to hit the 100 lines. Just gonna do a free write today and try and get there, and we'll see how it goes. And because when people were doing the 100 layers challenge, it had to be done in one go. You got to do it in one sitting. If you get up and leave, it doesn't count. We have to sit one time, force a poem out of our brains, 100 lines. Yeah, is this a stupid challenge? We're gonna find out if this is a bad idea or not. What am I gonna write about? I should have come up with that first. I've got my chai sitting over here. I am ready. I'm ready for this. Get myself situated. Okay, 100 lines, poem. Okay, here we go. I did it. If I had been any good at this, whoa, focus in. Okay. I would have set a timer to show you how long it took, but it was like 15 minutes. It was about 2:45-ish when I started, and now it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that was a lot of fun. So it ended up being about 3.5 pages, writing a slender-ish poem. I mean, it's not like, I don't know, I know it's terrible to see on the screen. I don't really want to read it to you. It was a very free written. I was very train of thought. Some of the fun parts that I came to that I enjoyed, I compared myself. I said that I am a frog in a pot, which is worse than a frog in a well. Like, do you guys know about the frog in the well saying, or is that an Asian saying? Because I feel like the first place I heard it was from the Tanuki family anime. Gorgeous anime. I think it's called the Tanuki family. The first season, just an art piece, just beautiful. The second season had like a different team working on it or something. It was very different. It had a different vibe. I didn't like it as much. But the first season's incredible. But the idea, like the frog in the well, a frog in a well thinks that's the entire world, is the idea of that one. But there's a whole piece with a frog in a well. It's very cute in that, but that's where that saying comes from. So the frog in the well thinks that that well is the entire world, so it doesn't know anything outside of the well. But then the frog in the pot, I think is probably a Western saying, and that's that if you put the frog into hot water, it'll hop right out. But if you put a frog into cold water in the pot, then you turn up the heat, it won't even notice that it's boiling to death. I think it probably comes from, that's probably how you actually cook frog, let's be honest. It's a little disturbing, but also that if you turn the temperature up slowly, people don't know to panic. And so I really liked taking the two phrases and putting them together. And then I got into this whole portion with gym equipment and started going into like paradoxes. I got very like, I don't know, I got too up in my thinky headspace on this one. But it was a lot of fun. Doing 100 lines and trying to like just get it done and do it in one sitting. It was a fun writing exercise. Like, it really had me like having to think, having to carry on a train of thought. We got real thinking. I got like the interesting moments that I'll probably steal from this and turn into actual poems later. It was really fun. I think this is an excellent writing warm-up, actually. Writing 100 lines. Like, it's not too much. Obviously I did it in about 15 minutes, but it's more than I would normally do for just a warm-up activity. Normally I would do like a page at the most, or even like a paragraph where you're just kind of free writing, where you're like trying to get the juices going. But I feel like doing 100 words, I really started to like get into a flow and get into a train of thought, and it was kind of fun. 100 lines challenge complete. I hope you will also try the 100 lines challenge. Let's take that concept. It's from what now? Like 5 years ago? That's okay. We weren't allowed to participate as writers. There wasn't like a writer's corner for it, at least that I saw, certainly. We can take it now. Now the 100 things challenge is ours for the taking. So 100 lines challenge. Let's do this. Let's all write 100 lines, especially warming up for NaNoWriMo if you're doing it. I'm sure, actually, if you did 100 lines, it's 2.5 pages. You are almost at your word count for the day anyway. So if you happen to be struggling with NaNoWriMo and you don't like their whole like 1,667 words situation, do 100 lines instead. It seems to be, it's pretty close. It's about the same. Obviously I wrote a poem instead, and so it's not the same word count. I've only got 500 words, but I think if those were solid paragraphs, you'd be pretty close. I'm passing this challenge on to you as a writer. Do what you will with it. Write 100 lines of anything you like. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is just something fun I thought would be an exciting thing to do today, and so I did it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I have a Patreon now. The information for that is of course linked down below, as well as my social media accounts. And I hope to talk to you again soon. Good luck to you and good luck to all of us. Bye!